Okay, we are live. All right. Hello, everyone. Hello. First off, I just like to apologize to each and every one. YouTube has taught us a very tough life lesson today. Things just doesn't always goes as planned, and I think we all learned it in 2020, and in 2021 we need to talk. We have learned it as well. I am so sorry for the delay. There were a lot of technical difficulties in trying to get the show started, but today, come rain, come shine, we are still live today. Thank you for joining us today. So I have with me my guest, Mr. Andreas, and then Sandy. Sandy is an old guest, so I'm going to allow Mr. Andreas to talk with us and introduce himself real quick, and then we're going to get started. So, Mr. Andreas, over to you.
Um, my name is Andreas Lienti. Um, I'm from Cameroon. Yeah.
And what do you do for a living? How old are
Well,
you?
I'm 24 years old, and I got two jobs and a company. So,
You got two jobs. Okay,
yeah.
so what do you work?
I work at Chick-fil-A. I work at Whataburger. Then I own my own business.
Okay, so what is your business all about?
Pretty much my business is well, the name of the business is called Multimedia Record. We do multiple things like DJing, go to like DJing at the events, photo shoots. Then the other department of the company also set all different kinds of colognes and perfumes for him and her. Yeah.
Okay, all right, okay. Now, Sandy, can you please tell us a little bit about yourself for those that don't know you or those that have not met you yet?
Yeah, my name is Sandy Kusi. I'm a college student, active athlete. I play soccer and then go to the gym a lot.
Okay.
Yeah,
You work?
Oh, yeah, also I do DoorDash part time.
Okay. And how old are you?
And I'm 22 years old.
Okay. Mr. Andres, did you say your age?
Yeah,
How old did you say you were?
24.
24 and 22. Okay. All right. So for everybody that's joining us today, Mr. Andreas here, he's actually the sponsor. He's one of the sponsors of We Need to Talk. He is the one that I always mention when we have the shows. He is the CEO and the owner of Multimedia Records. Like he rightfully said, he specializes in DJing, photo shoots, and then he also sells perfumes and colognes for him and for her. So as we all know, Valentine's Day is just around the corner. So please make sure that you purchase something from Multimedia Records for your loved one. So Andres, can you give out your phone number and
Yeah,
how people can locate you?
yeah. To place an order, if you want to reach me, my phone number is 469-779-5086. And you can also look me up on Instagram, Andreas.Nienty, which the Nienty is spelled like Nyenty. Also, you can also check me out on Facebook, Andreas Nienty. Again, the Nienty is spelled Nyenty. You can also check me out on Instagram, Snapchat, and so on.
Okay. Alrighty then. Thank you everyone for joining us today. Again, we do apologize so much for all the delay. We had a very tough time with YouTube today, but we thank God all the same that we are here. Rain, come shine. We are going to deliver today. So thank you for joining us again. This is We Need to Talk. My name is Abuna Nyanta, and I am going to be the host, or I am the host of We Need to Talk. So today or this year, we wanted to change things up a little bit because this show is all about learning. And so I want to just ask I want to ask a few questions from our guests, and they weren't aware that they were going to be asked these questions. So please pardon them if they don't get the right answers, but they are gonna learn, and hopefully everybody watching is gonna learn. Also remember to subscribe to the page if you've not done so. Please share the link so somebody can join in today. And so, Mr. Andreas, can you name 3 countries in Africa?
3 countries in Africa.
Yes.
Okay. Well, first, my country, Cameroon.
Okay.
Kenya.
Okay.
Ghana.
Thank you. Sandy, over to you. 3 countries in Africa.
Okay. I would say Morocco,
Okay.
Sudan,
Okay.
and South Africa.
Okay. Well, good job, guys. Should I say clap for yourself?
If we didn't know this.
Okay. Well, there are some people that probably don't know, And so I'm glad that you guys know, you guys can share with us. So today our topic that we're going to be discussing is growing pains. Growing pains. What is growing pains? So those are like the challenges or the pains that come with the experience we have with the challenges in our homes, with our families, and in this case with the parents, and the challenges that the parents also have with us. But as you see, I only have like young men with me today, so they cannot share the points or the views of the parents. They're only going to share the views of the kids. They're not kids, but they're the kids of their parents. And that's what we're going to be discussing today. So, Mr. Andreas, do you live at home or do you live by yourself?
I live by myself.
Okay. At what age did you move from your house?
I moved from my house when I was 19 years old.
Okay. And what exactly prompted you, or what made you move out of the house?
Well, first of all, the reason I moved out was because my families, they were they know they were looking for a time for me to move out because they're trying to show me the way of life, because like if I sit at home all the time, I'm not gonna know what is out there.
Okay.
So they had to let me. They had to actually let me go to make a choice to go out there and feed for myself and see how life it is out there.
So you woke up one day and decided you needed to move out?
Now I don't just wake up one day and decide to do that. Like I plan it. I plan it with my parents. I talk to them.
Okay.
After I graduate high school,
Mhm.
I'm gonna move out. So they agree with it.
They were in support of
Yeah.
it. Okay. All right. So whenever you moved out, were you going back home a lot, or you moved out and you just
Now, when I move out, yeah, I go back at home a lot to visit them, like every weekends. That's why I took weekends off my schedule, my jobs. That the weekends just with family. So every weekend I go there, go visit them. They're still happy to see me. Every time I still call them, check on them. They call me to check on me too.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So you left the house when you were 19,
Yeah.
and that was right after you graduated high school.
Yeah.
What were you doing then? Were you like going to college, or were you just working, or what was your life like?
Well, I was working. I was just working. Yeah, I was working. Well, I was working after I graduated high school. I was still working at the water boiler
Okay.
in Allen, Texas. I was working at the water boiler in Allen, Texas. I got my apartment in Plano. Then I was doing some online courses.
Okay.
Yeah, because we got my job and school and stuff like that was gonna be too much. So I just like let me just do a few online classes and go into work.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. So what about you, Sandy? Are you home? Are you living at home, or did you move out to?
No, currently right now I still live at my house in Garland.
When you say my house, which one is your house?
My father's house.
Okay. All right. So do you have any plans of moving out at some point?
So I've thought about it, but for right now, I think it's best to wait until I have like a better job and more money saved up, and with the climate of everything too. For me personally, it's not really a rush, since I have pretty much good, easy access to everything.
Okay. All right. Let me ask you, Mr. Andreas. So, in your first year when you moved from the house, like your parents' house, to be on your own, how was it like? Was it easy? Was it tough?
It
Did you
wasn't.
enjoy it?
I'm gonna be honest. It wasn't easy at all. It was like a tough decision, but I just had to do it to face the life. It's like first you gotta struggle before be successful. So you can't just jump to successful. So what I'm saying was it wasn't it wasn't really easy because when I'm moving with a roommate. I'm moving with a roommate first because when I was living with my parents, I was looking for a roommate at that time, planning everything while I was still there. So I lived with a roommate, and the roommate, it wasn't the kind of roommate I was looking for and stuff like that.
In when you say he wasn't your roommate wasn't the type of roommate you were looking for in a good way or in a bad way.
In a bad way.
So how was your roommate like?
Well, first, we will be late on the rent, all there because people pay on half and all that. So he because of that he messed up my credit and all that because the apartment was on my name.
Okay.
Yeah, the apartment was on my name.
Was under your name. Okay.
So I was facing some challenges, and then I will be buying some junk cars that will be breaking down. Then next day I'll be walking from Plano
Mhm.
to Allen just to go to work.
Walking?
Yeah. So I'll
Why?
be straight.
You didn't have a car?
Because my car will break down.
Yeah.
The next thing it will end up at the pound because
They told it?
no, it will end up at the pound because I will call a junkyard for to sell it because there was nothing you can do. It will be expensive for me, and that at that point that time I wasn't making that much money to even fix the car, all that stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when all these challenges started happening, were you able to tell your parents what was going on?
Well, honestly, I didn't tell them. I didn't tell them what was going on. All that they call me, ask me how am I doing. I just say I'm doing good and all that.
Why,
Yeah.
why weren't you being honest with your parents when they were asking you what was going on? Because here you were, it wasn't like you ran away from home and you said you discussed it with your parents before you moved out and then they were in support of it. And then you show up to your new place and rent is not being paid on
Mhm.
time, you didn't have a car.
Mhm.
So why was it hard for you to tell your parents that things were not going as you planned?
Yeah, because at first before I leave, I tell them like I tell them I'm going to make it on my own. I'm going to do this. I'm going to make it on my own. It's going to go better and stuff. Everything like that. It's going to go better. So I want to get. So I just wanted to believe that even though I'm
You were
going to be
struggling.
struggling, I'm going to make it on my own.
Okay.
You know. Yeah.
What did you think would happen if your parents knew what was going on?
But there's this saying that they always say. It was like it's not good. They honestly will say it's not going to get better. They'll be like it's going to get better.
Your parents, you
Yeah.
thought they were going to tell you it was going to
That's all.
get better.
They pretty much that's what they're going. That's it.
Okay,
It's gonna get
it
better.
was going to get
Yeah,
better. So
because-
you didn't think they could offer you any help besides them telling you encouraging words that it was going to get better?
Well, they offer me. They in their mind they actually already know that I'm going to struggle out there because my dad tell me a lot of story about him. How when he came here, he was struggling and stuff like that before he made it. So you don't want me to just feed off him to
Okay.
see the pain then and get better. So he knows I'm going to struggle. So he helped me out without me telling him that I need some help. Yeah, he just helped me out sometimes when I go to visit, he give me some money and stuff like that. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. So Sandy, prior to like us having this conversation with Andreas, what were some of the ideas that you had or the perceptions that you had about moving out to be on your own?
So I had talked about it with a friend I went to high school with, and
Okay.
just for I guess what we both were is the place we were planning to move to was it's kind of like Lake Highlands area. So it's a little bit closer to Dallas, and it's actually also closer to UTD. But yeah, we're just thinking that, it's kind of the same thing. You wanna, I don't know. I guess once you get to like, I don't know, maybe like 21 or 22, you just start thinking, oh yeah, I guess like seeing other people around you and stuff like that. And you just start thinking like, oh man, like, maybe I'm going like slow. Maybe I need to like, kind of like get out there more and stuff like that. Maybe I need to, um,
So
like,
did you think it was like, I guess my question was your perception positive? Like, were you thinking it was going to be nice, exciting to move on your own and have all the time and do all the things that you wanted to do? Or what was your actual perception of moving out to be on your own?
Yeah, I would say it was some of that too. But just thinking like, let's say a guy listens to always says like, it's different. You really start to mature and see like different things once you're paying like your own light bill.
Okay.
So just hearing things like that, I started thinking like, I mean, maybe it's like the next step to like really, I guess, mature and like, stuff like that.
Okay.
But
Okay. So, Andreas, prior to you moving out, before you moved out of the house, did you think about the struggles, or were you more excited about like the fun and the things that you could do by
Yeah,
yourself?
I did at first. I didn't even think about any struggle. I didn't think about any struggle. Go. At first, I know that I can make it my own because I was having my job and I was also doing my side thing by buying cars and flipping it and stuff like that, making some extra money. So I didn't even think at all it was going to be any struggle. I was just thinking about the excitement of living on my own, having a freedom, like go out, come back anytime I want to. The door's gonna be open. I got the key and all that stuff. Hang out with friends, invite friends to my in my apartment. We have a good time. I play games and all that stuff. That was all the excitement I was
You were
about.
thinking
So,
about.
yeah,
Okay. So let me ask you, if your parent had disagreed on you moving out, would you have still moved out?
well,
And I'm talking about before you started having the experience of like the struggles and the challenges. But when you were still back home
yeah.
and you told your parents that you wanted to move out, had they told you that, oh, Andres, no, we don't think this is the right time, you don't have to move, were you still gonna move out, or were you gonna listen to them and stay back?
Well, I, for well after I see the struggle.
No,
well, that
I
was
don't
before.
want you to tell me when you saw the
Oh, that
struggles,
was
because that was different.
okay.
But before you moved out, before you had this experience, if your parent had said no, would you have listened, or would you have still gone ahead to move out?
Honestly, I would have still go ahead and move out
Okay.
because there was too many going on in the house, too
There was
many
too much going on.
rules and
Okay.
stuff. Yeah, you can't do this, you can't do that. Yeah.
Okay. And then you finally moved out and things started unfolding, like reality started hitting you, right?
Yeah,
It wasn't as fun as you had expected it was gonna be.
yeah.
So now that you live on your own, and in the first year when you moved out, what did you spend most of your time doing? Were you spending most of your time trying to deal with the challenges, or were you spending most of your time enjoying the freedom of living by yourself? In all honesty.
I was trying to deal with the challenges at first.
So it wasn't
Yeah.
even about the fun.
It was
when you-
yeah, the fun then. The fun actually came after.
How many years?
Like it didn't take that actually it didn't take that long. The phone actually came like a year later because for a year I was walking from Plano to Allen because my job the water bar was in Allen and my partner was in Plano.
What like how far is the walk from Allen to Plano?
Um it's pretty much like the walk is like an hour walk.
And you were walking in this, was it winter time? Was it summertime? What
It
was the
was
weather like?
it was like summer.
It was summer.
Yeah, it was like
And
summer.
summer in Texas is very
Yeah.
hot.
Yeah, I was well there, but until one guy pull up and give me a ride, or someone that I know for a long time give me a ride. Sometimes I'll ask ride from people, sometimes I'll take Uber, and sometimes I'll just like let me walk and all that stuff. I did that for a year, save up some money. Then I ended up having another job at Toyota of Dallas.
Okay.
When I have a job at Toyota of Dallas, that's how I became my first car with a discount to make payments, which was the Toyota Camry.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now you had a car payment and then you had your rent. Did you have money to do extra stuff like go out to the movies, go out, hang out with your friends and pay and do all that at that time?
I didn't have I didn't even have the extra stuff to do all that, but I just had a little to like pretty much mostly where I was eating that time was Whataburger because since I work
That's where
there,
you were.
I get discount.
Okay.
So that was pretty much it.
Okay. Well, thank you for everybody that is live with us today. We are talking about growing pains, the challenges and the struggles of living at home with our family, be it our parents or be it the kids. And today we are sitting with young men that are in their 20s and they are telling us from the perspective of the kids, not from the parents. But as you see to my left here is Mr. Andreas Nyante. He said that he moved out of the house when he was 19 years old, right after high school. He had a conversation with his parents. They totally agreed to him moving out. But prior to Mr. Andreas moving out, he had this expectation that once he moves out, life is going to be all about fun, partying, hanging with friends, and freedom to do whatever that it was he wanted to. And he would have the keys to his house. He could follow or not follow any rules for all that mattered. But then when he moved, reality said things are not like you think they aren't. So Andreas was telling us that he had to work two jobs, walk an hour to work all the time because his car got totaled and he didn't have a choice. And sometimes he had to ride an Uber, which is gonna eat into his finances. And he started to realize at that point that it wasn't even that fun. He couldn't even afford to have fun because all the money that he had, it was going towards his rent and it was going towards his bills. And to the left of Mr. Andreas is Sandy. Sandy lives at home, and he said that at some point he had discussed it with his friend that he wanted to move out too. And in his mind, it was also all going to be fun. And I believe that for most young people, when that time comes and they want to make the decision, they always think about the fun and the freedom associated with it. But then they forget that it also comes with responsibilities. And when you move out on your own, your parents are no longer going to be the ones paying the bill and you occupying the space. But this time, you're going to be paying the bills, occupying the space. And so he said right now he doesn't have the need to move out. And now sitting next to somebody that actually moved out, he's getting to hear some of the experiences that he has. And I think that just like Mr. Andreas rightfully said, if what right before he moved out, had his parents told him they didn't agree, he would have moved out anyways, and his perception was different. But now that he moved out with them agreeing, he came to terms with reality. So Andreas, would you if you could go back in time, which I know none of us can, and sometimes we wish we can, would you want to change anything about the time you moved out of the house?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, if we can go back in time, I wish I would have. I would have moved out. I just wish I would have the conversation with my parents, telling them that I want to move out. I want to move out after I graduate.
College or high school?
After well, I said I wish I would have.
You wouldn't
I
have.
would have told them that I want to
Okay.
leave.
So when would you think you would want to move out?
I was if I take the time back, I would have allowed me to wait. Work my water that I used to work because when I used to work at water, I was saving some money. That was the money I used to put a down payment in the apartment. So I would have just save up some more money, just keep saving, wait for the right time because right now when I look back and see the struggle that I was going through, I just think myself that move that I made, that wasn't the right move, that wasn't the right time. Because I know that there are time for everything, but that time wasn't the right time for me to move out. So yeah.
Whenever you were thinking about moving out, did you talk to any of your friends about it before you decided to move out?
No, I didn't tell nobody.
You didn't tell any of
I
your
didn't tell
friends.
no.
Did you have friends that had moved out of the house?
No.
You didn't have, so all your friends
All
were
my
living at
friends were
home.
living with their home. So,
So what exactly is it that kind of prompted you? Because I know like moving out is not just something that somebody just wake up one day and then it happened. I think you mentioned that there was a lot that was going on in the house. Do you mind to share some of the things that was going on in the house that made you move out?
yeah, the thing about my parents is that they don't want my friends. They don't want like a lot of my friends coming over
To the
and all
house.
that. Yeah, they don't
Okay.
want a lot of my friends coming over, and also there's this church that I used to go to in Allen, Texas.
You don't have to mention the name of the
Yeah.
church, but
We used to go to the church. Then I would tell them that I'm going to the church. They sometimes they don't believe me. They think I'll just go out, go hang out. Then when I stay late outside or something like that, they want me to be home probably like around 11:30.
okay.
You know, or
How old were you then?
at that time I was 18. Yeah, I was like 17, 18. So.
Okay. Did your parents ever tell you the reason why they didn't want some of the friends coming over?
Well, because they began all this thing at school. They began all this thing at school. Like I'm at school. This thing I'm hanging out with um friends that like I'm hanging out with friends that smoke and all that stuff. So they think I'm the one bringing the friends that I'm going to bring those friends over to the house, but that's not the friends I'm trying to bring over. The friends I'm trying to bring on are friends that actually are good friends. But they don't because they can't tell the difference.
Okay.
So yeah.
So, and we're gonna get a little personal because I know, most of the topics that we
Yeah.
set on this show to have are things that are happening in most homes, but yet nobody's talking about them and they've become like a cycle. And we are trying to make people aware of what's happening, talk about it, think about solutions so that we can break that cycle because that
Yeah.
cycle has not helped, right? Okay, so the friends that you had did you have friends that were actually smoking as your parents suspected?
Well, yeah, actually I do have friends that was smoking,
You
so
did or you do?
I did.
Okay,
Now I don't
you don't have any more. Okay. And like when were you around them when they were smoking?
No, I'm never around them when I was smoking.
So how did you know that they smoked?
Because they always discuss with me.
They discussed this when they were discussing it with you, were they discussing it to like encourage you to do
Yeah,
it too?
pretty much. Yeah, they're trying to encourage me to do it, but I didn't want to do all that stuff. So whenever they're trying to bring it up, I usually change the subject.
Okay,
Yeah.
let me bring it to you, Sandy, because I think right now, the topic that Andres is talking about is a topic that is relevant in most homes. So, did you also have friends that also smoke?
Yeah.
Okay, did they talk to you about it?
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me this. So if your parents suspected that you had these friends that were smoking, to you guys, what were some of the things or the right things that you think your parents should have talked to you or done to help you guys kind of get away from those friends?
Pretty much what they can say for us to stay away from those friends.
Okay, you think the right thing that they should do was to tell you to stay away from
Yeah,
those
they
friends?
should stay away from those friends because some friends smoke and you don't only end on smoking, they probably end up doing something else illegally or something like that.
Okay,
The better you stay away from them, the better for you. That's pretty much they are saying their words. Yeah.
okay. And Sandy, what are some of the things, or what are some of the ways that you think the right ways that you think parents should address that situation?
I think it's right. Um, just like what they did, saying that you should just stay away from those people because, I mean, from like looking back at it, being young then, I mean, you wouldn't know, you wouldn't think now to say like, okay, now I understand because they were seeing in the future what they say like prevention is better than the cure.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Okay. Now I want you guys to like think back to those times when you guys had such friends. Had your parents, and if your parents were telling you that time to stop being friends with them, sincerely and honestly, would you guys have actually cut ties with those friends?
no, from back then,
Uh-huh.
Back then,
So back then, what is it that you guys would have wanted, or what is it that you guys think would have actually made you guys cut ties? Or is there even something that could have been done for me to make you guys cut ties with those type of friends?
yeah, I'll take it from it. So for me personally, really, I guess when like something drastic happens or when you see something else, like I guess
Something
some other
different,
side, something like revealed to you, it really makes you think like, okay, maybe I don't know. Like when you're young, you think like everybody's crazy. I'm just gonna do what I want. But then when you really like, like you see somebody's situation and you hear about it, you really think like, I mean, we're all relatively young and stuff. That could be, so.
When you see somebody else's situation, like what kind of situation are you talking about?
Well, I mean, for like the kids who smoke and stuff like that, I mean, from seeing now how some of them ended up and stuff like that. And I mean, like, most of those kids you don't really even associate with, you don't really talk to now. But seeing them like some kids I used to know in high school who are athletes and stuff, they used to be like, everybody kind of looked up to them and stuff. But now if you see them, it's like the roles are like reversed. Now they're looking up to you.
Okay, now that you've mentioned it, so those people that were smoking, were they like the popular kids at school?
some of them, actually, some of them were because you feel like I don't know. Back then, people smoking like smoke. They just assume that smoking is cool. You know what I'm saying? So they just assume that smoking is cool. So you mostly gonna see like this athlete. Most of the athletes is so the smoking like it's like you just fun. It's cool, and they move on. They go out with it.
Okay, so now let me say this too. So you guys, by the grace of God, have grown up, and now you get to even sit down and look back. And here we are having this conversation, and you guys were not influenced or swayed into that kind of lifestyle. And you guys are saying that you did have friends that were trying to influence you. So what the parents were saying was not wrong. You did actually have friends that were smoking, that were trying to encourage you or trying to influence you to go do it too, but you didn't do it. And now you're telling me, and you guys also mentioned that when your parents were saying it for you to cut ties, you were not gonna cut ties. But I want you guys to kind of think and answer this for me. So what if you don't even get the opportunity to grow up to this age and look back, but then you only had that opportunity to change? What about those that actually got influenced and they went into that lifestyle? And maybe because of that, some of them have lost their lives. Some of them, their lifestyle is messed up. Some has become addicts that they can't even help themselves anymore. So what in you guys' experience, what are some of the ways that we can actually talk to the younger ones that are at the stage that you guys used to be then, and then they're seeing all these things happening with them and their friends, and they're thinking, oh, this is so cool. Look at the popular guys, or like everybody in my school or all my friends on social media doing it, so let me go do it, and they can't be stopped because apparently when parents say it doesn't get anywhere. So like you guys being young and just coming from that experience not too long ago, what would you guys say, or what are some of the things that you guys think that can be told to those young ones?
Well, at first, there's this thing that kids always do because smoking, they really don't know the challenges of smoking. They just want to try it. Like like someone would be like, oh, what was the worst that could happen? I don't know until I try. No, yeah, but a lot of people use that word a lot. You don't never know until you try, but that word never work on everything. So, pretty much my advice for all the younger one out there who are trying to be influenced,
Mhm.
they should just when someone is trying to mention that right next to you, just walk away, pretty much just like walk away from because then I would have loved to have that opportunity to walk away. But I'll just still stood there and do that, trying to change when I'm trying to listen, trying to change the conversation. I ain't gonna lie, but I was almost trying to do it, but I'm like, no, I can't do this. Because no, it's a powerful, it's just no, it's really a powerful word. Say just say no, that's end of discussion and just walk away, pretty much.
Okay, what about you, Sandy? What would you say to those kids that are also in your shoes years ago? They're in high school, here they are trying to fit in, and all these cool kids are doing all these things, and then they're trying to get them to do it too. What would you say to them?
I would say it's two questions you really need to ask yourself. And the older you get, the more you start to think about like stuff on like deeper levels. But I would say like, okay, the person I am now and then the person I'm going to be in a couple of years. Because the high school is 4 years, but
Yeah.
everybody knows it goes by really quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are they going to be proud of the decisions that I made today?
Mhm.
Because I mean, yeah, you think like just that one time, it only takes one time being in the wrong place. The stuff, one decision will change the trajectory of your life. Like so, just ask yourself that question when it comes to like controversial things,
Yeah.
like situations like that, and then also think about another thing that really helped me to understand the perspective more of like our parents is okay, these are your parents. So obviously they care about you, they love you, they want you to do well. So and they have, I mean, regardless of or not, they're more experienced and they can see things that you haven't seen. I mean, in every situation I've had, pretty much like with friends and stuff like that, they've been able to spot like who was gonna be like a good friend that was going to last with you and who was not going to be. So just ask yourself those two questions and then really think like, am I gonna be proud of this decision? Like is this who I am? Is this who I want to is this how I want to represent myself? Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for everybody that is joining us live today. We are talking about growing pains, and growing pains are the challenges and the struggles that we have in our homes with our families, our parents, and then the parents to the kids too. But as you see with me, I have young people with me, so they're sharing the perspective of the kids. And then specifically today, we talked about Mr. Andreas moving out of the home. His parents live here in the US as well. And Mr. Andreas decided that it was time for him to go out and test the waters right after high school. He had the conversation with his parents and they agreed. They supported him in moving out. When Mr. Andreas got there, he found out that life was not all about fun, freedom, and just enjoying yourself. He said that he had to deal with so many challenges when he moved out that there was no room for him to have the fun that motivated him to move out. He couldn't even afford to go hang out with his friends because here he was trying to work and have money enough to pay his rent and to pay his bill. And then on top of all that, his car broke down. So he was having no choice but to walk an hour from his home to his job. And at that moment, he could not go back and tell his parents because he made them know that he was ready to face whatever challenge that was going to come his way. And then we also diverted a little bit into friends, influence of friends as well. Some of the things that actually pushed him into moving out of the house. And we discussed the friends' influence, some of the friends and the drugs that they were doing, some of the bad habits that friends were doing that parents didn't want them coming out there. So, Andreas, as we go on, were your parents, did you ever have any conversation with your parents about like the type of friends that you had? Or was it just them telling you that, oh, we know your friends do drugs and we just don't want them coming to the house?
you were just telling me that, and also what there are some friends that they like, there are some friends that they
They
don't
didn't
like.
like.
The one that they don't like, they don't know about it, but they just heard it. But the friends that they like are just the one the few that I brought home one time before the season. I think I brought it one time. It was on a graduation party. Yeah, on a graduation party, and also on my little brother graduation party when I invite all of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So were your friends that were the bad friends, let's say, were they friends that you hang out with a lot?
No,
If your parents had told you to not hang out with them, you said at that point you wouldn't even listen, would you?
no, I won't
Okay.
listen.
Okay. So one of the things that I just want to mention to parents that are watching us today or that are on the that are going to listen to this in the future is in our African home we tend to do parents tend to do more of the talking and less of the listening. But in every relationship there has to be a balance. And these are phases that the young ones go through. And because parents have had that experience, I guess that is essentially a way for parents to kind of know what is ahead. And so you do everything in your possible best in guarding them so they don't just sway. Because at that stage, if you try to pull, it's going to be a power tussle and the end is not always great. But parents have to exercise a lot of patience because, like I was telling them, some were not lucky enough or some were not blessed enough to be here today in the right spaces and then look back and see how wrong it was for them to have associated with those type of people then. Some lost their lives, some became addicts, and some their lives are, forgive me to say, but it's almost useless because of those choices that they made. But these ones were blessed enough not to end up that way, but now they're looking back and they see it's wrong. And sometimes everybody is bound to make mistakes, not to encourage or not to tell them that they should go do that stuff. But when somebody is a teen or in those stages of life, it's very difficult for them to relate to what parents speaks to them. And this is exactly why I brought them to talk. So the young ones that are watching will see that it's not just the parents that are saying something that is not true, but it's the experience that everybody that has been there has had and knows the right from the wrong. So they too can advise themselves and not get themselves into that. So let's talk a little bit about the influence of friends. And I know our time is like running out, but we will revisit some of the key topics in future dates. But let's talk about the influence of friends. Andreas, when you moved out, what were you keeping a lot of friends as you were when you were living at home with your parents?
Well, at that point when I moved, I was cutting some friends off.
Okay. And why is that?
Well, pretty much I was cutting some friends off because there are some friends that just trying to come around me when I have when I have money, so I can go take them out and spend up my money and stuff like that. And so that's why I had to cut them off, focus on what I have had ahead of me, focus on what I had ahead of me because I have plans for myself that now I move out, my parents are not around give me give me advice or tell me what to do and all that stuff. Now I have to plan this on my own, prove them that I can do this. So I have to have a plan my own of um, become that one day I'm gonna come on one day or any minute I'm gonna chunk my money together. I want to start my own business and all that. Yeah, I was having all that in plan.
Okay, so when you moved out, you cut out some of your friends
Yeah.
because now you have responsibilities. So you
Yeah.
definitely cannot, like, if whenever you were living at home, if you had a lot of money to spend, let's say if you were saving $200 and you can spend it on friends, now you have bills to pay with that
Yeah.
200. So you didn't, and like you started seeing things in a
Yeah.
different light, right? And now you have friends that you feel like they're responsible and they're gonna
Yeah.
help you, right? Okay, so let's talk about those friends that are like bad influence. Let me go to you, Sandy. Whenever you meet like these friends, sometimes, and like even right now, do you get the vibe or do you see at that point that this friend is bad but yet still goes ahead to be friends with them? Or you see them and it's just like, oh, everything is just cool.
So now I would say, now I look at it as there's only two things that they can do for you. They're either pushing you forward to become who you should be or who you're aspiring to be, or they're pulling you backwards. So what I would say is once you find yourself in that, like, just like studying and seeing how they treat you, how they react and how they do things and stuff like that. You just think um, yeah, is this like, do I want to be around this person? Like, are they going to be here long term, or are they just kind of like,
Taking advantage of passing time.
yeah, or just like the acquaintances? I mean, it's not everybody that you
Okay.
meet that, yeah, exactly, that you want to, you know, like hang out with, that you want to be around like that. Some people, maybe, well, not anymore, but back when we were in classes and stuff like that, you just, you say hi to them and stuff, you're cool. But it's not necessarily somebody I would call up and say, hey, let's go do this. Or, like, to, I like to bring you around my friend,
Your
my family.
family, close people. Okay.
Yeah.
So what are some of the, from both of you, what are some of the characteristic of a good friend that you see you and you're like, oh, this person is good. I want them in my circle. What are some of the characteristics of that person?
I would say somebody who is kind, they are not necessarily, they don't have to be like so deeply spiritual, but you can tell like just from their energy and like being around them, like they just somebody who's like positive and optimistic and stuff like that. Somebody with ambition, and, So yeah, somebody who's pushing you to be better, not somebody who's always like negative.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about you, Andreas?
Yeah, also yes, pretty much someone who's someone that always got your back, because in case of anything happen, not someone that gonna be there for you, then you have problem going away. Someone that gonna be there for you, either problem or no problem, he's by your side, he's always there for you and stuff like that. He's always gonna stick with you. Like there's this and also someone who give you good advice, tell you what to do and all that stuff like that. You could like mommy, there's this one friend that I got till right now my parents still ask about her. Like, yeah. My parents asked about her brother because she have a brother to my parents because I bring them in my parents' house. So my parents have asked about them like where they at and stuff like that. Yeah, because it been a while since I invite them to my parents' house.
Okay. Okay. So thank you everybody that is sitting with us today. Sandy said that for him, characteristic of a good friend is somebody that is spiritual, that is optimistic, and that also pushes you to go forward in life, not somebody that is going to be negative or somebody that's going to be pulling you back and don't want you to make any changes in life in order for you to live your full potentials. Mr. Andreas here said that for him, a good friend is somebody that is always going to be there for you, that's going to get your back, not the friends that are coming to take advantage of you and go in times of need. And then somebody that is also going to give you good advice. And that is very essential because a bad apple spoils the rest, which is if you have a friend that is advising you wrongly, you always end up treading on the wrong path or the wrong road, and we know where that leads to. So thank you all for joining us today. We are talking about growing pains, and growing pains are the challenges and the issues that we deal with in our lives and in our homes, especially in our African homes. This show is targeted towards our Africans, which is there are so many things that happens in the home that we say, oh, this is normal. They are not normal. we need to break out of some of the cycles because it has led some people where they don't need to be, and it has also limited some potentials in also being where they need to be. So that is the purpose, or that is the point for we need to talk, because when somebody tells you that we need to talk, right then you know that it's serious. And so the topics and the discussions that we sit to talk about are serious conversations. I thank you guys so much for coming today. I know that we hit on some things that were a bit personal, but I did so because I want others, the ones that are younger, even some adults, because somewhere there are adults that also have bad friends that are advising them wrongly, making them make wrong choices, and it's affecting their families as well. So even in them sharing their stories, adults can learn from it as well. And then the parents that are in situations where these guys were in previously or back then, please do relax, calm down. Don't give yourself high blood pressure. Don't give yourself any heart attack. There are phases in life. Some pass through them, some skip through them, some run through them, some even sleep on it. You just have to be patient and deal with it calmly, especially parents that are here in the US, because we know here when somebody turns 18, they can do whatever it is that they want to do. Even when you as a parent see it as a wrong decision, you just have to deal with it, and it's not easy. But one thing that I always say to parents is that we never use fire to quench or to turn off fire. We use water to turn off fire. And so if your child is boiling you hot, you have to be the water that calms that fire and that heat down. So please, let's all take heart. Let us all do our best and bring these young, wonderful people up to live their full potential so the society, the community, and the world as a whole can benefit from them. Thank you all so much for joining us. Please remember to subscribe to the channel if you've not done so. Again, I apologize that the show came on so late today. Some of the growing pains of YouTube. I had a very tough time with them today, and I've learned my lessons too, so I know what to do better next time. Thank you all so much. To my left here is Mr. Andreas. He is the CEO of Multimedia Records. He specializes in DJing. So if you're having any events in the DFW Metroplex, you can contact him and he's going to DJ for you. He also specializes in photo shoot. So if you want to do a birthday shoot, any type of events, you can contact Mr. Andreas and he will come and shoot your photos for you beautifully. Also, if you would like, he also sells cologne and perfume for women and for men. So as Valentine's Day is around the corner, please remember to contact him to get a nice cologne for the men and a beautiful smelling perfume for the ladies as well. I also like to tell you about O&O Signature. Every time that you see me in my African prints, is O&O Design Original. Mr. Andreas is actually rocking his O&O today. Sandy always wear O&O, but he didn't bring it on today because he didn't want to match with us. He wanted to be the unique one out of all of us today. So pardon him for that. But you can contact O&O Signature at 469-769-2306. Again, it's 469-769-2306. We make African wear dresses for women, for men, for children, for infants, every age that you can think of. We have pre-made dresses and outfits for men and women. You can also bring us your style, your design that you want us to make for you, and we will do so for you. As you see in my hand today, I have my O&O customized beads. We inscribe your name on the bracelet. So as we are all about to enter into the month of love, please remember you can also contact O&O for your Valentine's Day gift for the men and for the women. I have neck beads, waist beads, ear beads, bracelets, anklets. I have purses, I have wallets, I have ties, I have bow ties. I have practically anything that you can think of that we can make with prints and anything that is from Africa. This is all about promoting culture. O&O is all about the culture, elegance, and the fit for everyone. And it's O&O because we specialize it just for you. You can follow O&O on Facebook at OO Signature. You can also follow us on Instagram at OO Signature. Please remember to also like We Need to Talk Facebook page at Needs to Talk, and that is NEEDZTOTLTALK, sorry. So it's Needs with a Z at the end to talk, and they are all together. You can follow We Need to Talk also on Instagram at We Need to Talk Sundays, and you can also follow us on YouTube at UTV. We also have a local show, or let me say a pre-show that is coming on. It's also called Bebiano. This is actually in our local language, and it discusses the topics that people that are home in Ghana do not see or do not agree with people that are abroad all over the world. So please also catch that show every Saturday evening at 6 p.m. on UTV. Please remember to share. Please remember to subscribe to the channel. Thank you all so much for joining us. If you would also like to become a sponsor for the show or the channel, you can contact me as well at 469-769-2306. We advertise businesses in the US, in the DFW Metroplex, all over the world, because this is a virtual show. So everybody all over the world is able to access the show and watch as well. So I'm going to read over our comments and questions that came through. Thank you all so much to everybody that joined us today. Mr. Ability, you gave us a thumbs up. Thank you. Miss Judy said, parents usually have good reasons for restricting friends, and we did find out that they actually do, because these two young men actually said that the friends that their parents were restricting them from coming to their home were actually bad influences that their parents knew, and that was the reason why they didn't want them coming to their homes. And they eventually learned their lessons that these friends were not for them. Is Gaming Kid said, parents know the vulnerability of the kids, hence do whatever in their capacity to prevent those potential bad experiences. And yes, that is so true. But in some cases, some of these young ones, I guess they just want to have the personal experience, which is always not the best, but they said experience is a good teacher. So we thank God that they do learn and they grow and they become better. Miss Judy said, thanks, Priscilla, for bringing these young men to tell their stories and possibly change lives. It's good to hear from both sides. Thank you. And Nana Jidu said, great. Thank you. I have a few comments from WhatsApp. Um, this one says, I'm enjoying it. At that age, they never listen. Yes, they do not. There's certain stages in life where it seems like earplugs are stuck in the deepest chords of the ears of the young ones, and they just don't hear anything good. And they just have to go hit rock bottom before they come out. And all that parents can do is be patient, pray, and do their best in trying to guide them to turn back the right way. Okay, Estelle says she enjoyed it. Thank you. And a few people that said they're gonna watch. Thank you to everybody that joined us today. Again, sorry for the delay of the show. We are gonna be live again on January 31st. That is gonna be a very interesting one, because as you've seen, this year is being the young back to back. But next show, we're gonna have the parents sit with us and also them share their experiences, the challenges of parenting, and why they say and do some of the things that they do. Because I know that they have their reasons, and those reasons are also relevant reasons, and it's going to help everybody also learn as well. And Is Gaming Kids said, we love it. Carry on. Thank you all so much. I do appreciate all the comments, all the questions, all the love, the likes, the subscription, everything that everybody is doing to make sure that this show comes live and also continue going on. Thank you all so much. Let us have a blessed week ahead, and happy MLK Day to everybody that is in the US, and everybody have a wonderful evening. Mr. Andres, Mr. Sandy, any last words before we go?
Yeah. Well. This word goes out to everybody who's living with their parents. I just want to say, before thinking of moving out, think about the struggle. Think what is out there, what you're going out there to face. And yeah, you got to think about that. Save up your money, put everything together, put everything in plan. Like you have to be a part. Like you have to be a whole part of the plan. Think. You have to think twice about it before doing it. Because if you just rush doing it, like what I did, don't do what I did because you're gonna face the consequences. So pretty much that's it for the young one. Just stay at home till you're ready to move out. Don't rush. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Andres. What about you, Sandy?
I would just say, like, yeah, also for the young kids, like, I mean, we've been there. When your parents have been there, we understand it's tough and stuff, but it doesn't last forever. High school it goes by faster than you know, than you think. And yeah, so just know that, just think anytime you feel facing with any like deep decisions or something that's like pushing your spirit, just like do the reverse engineer. What do I want to be known as? What do I want to be in a few years down the road? Like, yeah, what do I want people to say about me?
Thank you guys so much. And then last but not the least, for parents and for the young ones as well, always remember that nothing lasts forever. So the challenges that seem so overwhelming that like, oh my goodness, I'm just gonna die, or if I don't go do something crazy, I will lose it. It doesn't last forever. Bible even says that nothing lasts forever. It's just the word of God. And the word of God is never bad. So encourage yourself. Have a wonderful week, and thank you for joining us today.